You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
Welcome, everybody. This is Sue, your host here at Your Inner Awakening. Thank you for joining us. It's been a few weeks since the last call that we had. I hope everybody is having a wonderful time getting well in a milder weather that a lot of us are being treated to right now. We have got a fabulous fun show coming up tonight, and I thought that this was going to be really appropriate for everyone, for all of us actually, as we're going into and really getting towards the winding down part of the season where things start getting really crazy, and a lot of us start experiencing a lot of stress and a lot of just that arg that goes along with the holidays. So my guest tonight is Dr. Steve G. Jones, and he is a board-certified clinical hypnotherapist who has been in practice since the early 80s. He has worked with a lot of very well-known folks in his practice in Beverly Hills, and he works with a lot of everyday folks like you and I. And the issues that he is able to help folks with is so diverse, ranging from weight loss to stress management to confidence to anxiety, depression, and oh my gosh, so many things in between. Dr. Steve has written over 25 books, I believe it is, and if I'm wrong, he could correct me in a minute, and has over 9,000 recordings that are available for folks. So he has been doing this for a very long time and has helped probably more than you can count number of people. So this is going to be a great call, and, kind of sit back and really listen in and kind of make this your own. So welcome, Dr. Steve.
Well, thank you, Sue. Thanks for having me.
I am very excited about this. I have to say you are the first board-certified hypnotist that has been on the series. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a really nice, unique call for everybody tonight.
That sounds fun.
Exactly. I think this is going to be good. And, as we had spoken a little bit, as I said a moment ago, I think that this is a fabulous time of year to have you here because so many of us are just so stressed whenever the holidays start coming along. And I know that, some of what you do is very helpful to get people out of that kind of state.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, anytime you can relax when there's a stressful time coming, I think that's definitely beneficial.
Absolutely. But it's, I'm sure you must find that it's very difficult for a lot of people to be able to have the means to do that for themselves.
It is. People get caught up in this and that, and especially the holidays with the pressure of families and gift giving and seeing people you haven't seen in a while and traveling and so forth. It can get rather stressful.
Absolutely, and some of those people that you haven't seen for a while, there's a reason why you haven't seen them, and then you have to face that whole set of demons.
That's true. Very good point.
Oh my gosh! Well, I think we all have, that Uncle Floyd that nobody really talks about, and you just kind of wave at him and say that he doesn't come over and corner.
He's going to be there for the holidays, though.
Absolutely, but it just makes it brings up a lot of feelings for folks, and those can be hard to kick back at different times. So maybe it would be easier if you were to explain kind of briefly what it is that you do and how it can benefit people.
Sure. Well, I just put people into a hypnotic state and give them positive suggestions. So I do that by relaxing them into that state. And what it does is allows them to open up their possibilities of relaxation, motivation, confidence, whatever it is they may be working on.
And can anybody be put into that state?
Yes, Harvard and Stanford have both worked on scales of this, what they call hypnotic susceptibility. And sort of like electrical conductivity, every substance on the planet will conduct electricity. Some conduct it very well, like metal, and some not so well, like wood. But just as every substance conducts electricity, every person on the planet can be hypnotized to some degree.
Oh, okay. Now, you said that to some degree. If you are somebody who, maybe is on the lesser scale, just the suggestions and the positive images and suggestions you're putting in, do they still work?
They do, and that's why I always recommend with my recordings to listen to them for 21 nights in a row, just in case you happen to be one of the people who is on that scale at the less suggestible end. The repetitive exposure to it makes up the difference.
Okay, so is it sort of like you're building a muscle to becoming more and more susceptible is not a good word, but to be able to feel with that?
I don't think you increase your susceptibility. The standard term is susceptibility. I like to use the word suggestibility. It's not as if you're increasing your suggestibility. You're just having the same amount of suggestibility, but you're getting more exposure to the positive messages, and so they have more of a chance of getting through.
Okay. Well, and that makes this so much easier for folks that are saying, oh, I can't be hypnotized. To say, geez, I really can.
Right. Well,
break down that barrier.
Yes, and also if we look at the definition of hypnosis is defined as being in a state of alpha or lower. Where we are right now is beta, full awakening consciousness. We're engaged in a conversation, we're wide awake. But if we slow down just a little bit, like when we read a book or watch TV or take a shower, or when we just wake up or we're just going to sleep, we're in the state of alpha. And we go in and out of alpha all day long. That is the lightest state of hypnosis, in which you're very suggestible. So you can be in it without even realizing it. So the beauty of it is you can put positive suggestions in someone's mind while they're in that state.
Okay. Now, I have to ask because, what comes to mind when you hear things is, you're going to cluck like a chicken when you hear a bell ring. Is it that we're really that open to those types of suggestions, or is there some section in our brains that still say, okay, I will accept this, or I can refuse this?
Well, approximately 10% of the population is what we call in the somnambulistic category, which literally means sleepwalker. But what it means for our purposes is that they are highly suggestible. So if you do put them into hypnosis in a stage hypnosis show, for example, and tell them that when they do hear a bell, they'll cluck like a chicken, to use your example, they will do that. And sometimes they'll have little to no memory of actually doing it. Most people are not that suggestible, but the requirements to be part of what you're describing, which is a stage hypnosis show for entertainment, are different from the requirements to be part of clinical hypnotherapy, where you're working on change for yourself. You don't have to be as suggestible to get positive change in your life as you do to perform in front of people doing silly things.
Okay. I wanted to be able to make that distinction for everyone because it's so... I really want to, point out how easy it is for each of us, no matter what it is that we may have as a preconceived notion for ourselves, to be able to utilize that in our lives.
Absolutely.
Now, let's see. When you say that you would like people to use this as a suggestion for 21 days, and that's building it up. What is the follow-up after that? Do you continue listening, or?
Well, if someone is listening to a confidence recording, for example, mine or anyone else's, I think it's best to listen to it for 21 nights in a row. Mine are designed for nighttime use, so you listen to it at night. At the end, it gives you suggestions to go to sleep. There's been some research done that indicates that even if you fall asleep, you're still receiving the messages. Sort of like when you dream that the phone's ringing and you wake up and the phone was ringing, you can incorporate things that you hear into your into your mind even if you are quote unquote asleep. And you have to keep in mind the stages of wakefulness and sleep are no different from the stages of hypnosis. We have beta, full awakening consciousness, alpha, which is the lightest stage of hypnosis, then theta and delta, which are deep stages. But we also realize that the stages of hypnosis are the same exact scale. So my point there is, even if you fall asleep, it's okay. So my recordings are designed to be listened to at night as you go to sleep for 21 nights, and I do recommend sticking to the same theme. To answer your question about follow-up, I look at it as maybe you'll need a booster every now and then. Maybe you'll want to put the recording in for 2 or 3 nights every now and then. If you have a big speech coming up or something you don't feel confident about, listen to the recording a few nights before that to give yourself a booster shot, as it were.
Perfect. And now, how long are the recordings? Is it something that's easy for people to fit into their schedule?
It is, because you can just play it as you go to sleep at night and just go ahead and go to sleep, and you don't have to listen to the whole thing. Your subconscious mind will take it in. Because keep in mind, your eyes close, but your ears don't. They stay open, monitoring your environment. Just as a mother hearing a baby when she's quote-unquote sleeping will wake up, and anyone hearing a noise that's beyond the baseline noises of their home, the refrigerator, the air conditioner, and so forth, they will wake up. So we have the security system built in, which is our hearing, so we don't have to worry about it shutting off. It does not shut off, so you can go to sleep. So I recommend listening to my 60-minute recordings just as you go to sleep. Press play, and you'll probably doze off in just a few minutes into the recording and get a normal, restful night's sleep. Most people report even better than normal sleep because it's very relaxing. And just it's sort of like flying a plane. You just sit back and let the pilot do the work.
Beautiful. And that is something that so many of us love to be able to do. And knowing that we can fall asleep and all the good stuff is still coming in. I like that. Now, do you find that any, and I'm going to say the word topic because I can't quite grab the right word, that different things are easier to see changes coming about using the hypnosis tape?
Well, anything that's a binary outcome is very easy to see, such as smoking cessation. If someone's going to stop smoking, they're either going to stop or not stop. So we only have one of 2 outcomes. So that's pretty easy to see. Confidence is a little harder to see. The fascinating thing about confidence is when I used to see a lot of clients in my office in Beverly Hills, for example, I'd have clients come to me who weren't very confident. And they'd want to stop coming after a few sessions because they say, I don't need this anymore. I'm confident all by myself. I simply don't need these sessions anymore. And so sometimes that sneaks up on you in subtle ways. They suddenly have confidence, but they feel so natural about it that they don't think it came from an outside source like me or like the hypnosis, which is great and exactly what I want. But that is harder to measure. Confidence, motivation, those things are harder to measure. Things that can fit into a scale, such as weight loss, those things are easier to measure, but sometimes they do take a while for someone to lose their ideal weight. For example, if they want to lose 100 pounds. So that can be, you can calculate that though. So things that are quantifiable are easier to measure, and things that are more of a quality nature, where you're just looking at the change in their life, the quality of their life, those are more difficult to measure.
I understand. Very nice. Now, again, kind of going back to the different things that we all experience, especially this time of year, what things what recordings or what evidence would you suggest for people to be able to look into to kind of counteract all of the craziness around them?
Well, I think that we have a lot of holiday stress, unfortunately, because that's just part of the holidays. So I have a suggestion that would be just confidence to help someone deal with that. And I think that would be very helpful. Also, I have a recording on New Year's resolutions. A lot of people make resolutions and then they joke about going to the gym. They go to the gym the first 2 weeks of the year and then they don't anymore. People get accustomed to failing on their New Year's resolutions, and that recording is designed to help you stick to it.
You're right. We all kind of do that, don't we? I know I've gotten gym memberships many times the first 50 years ago, and by March you're kind of done with it all. So now, kind of jumping back a little bit, are there things that people can ask themselves to know if this type of approach is right for them?
To know if using hypnosis is right for them?
Yeah.
Well, I think hypnosis works with everyone. Some people need a little bit more, some people need a little bit less. But I would just, if I were a person considering whether to use it or not, I would just ask myself if I feel like doing that sort of thing. Some people want it, some people don't want it. Some people want to handle things themselves. Some people want to go to long-term talk therapy. There are a lot of ways to get to the end result. But the people who are into hypnosis are usually the ones who are into meditation and into spiritual matters. Although hypnosis is not necessarily spiritual, it often appeals to people who are of a spiritual nature.
Oh, that's really interesting. Is there anything that correlates with that, or
well, meditation and hypnosis are pretty much the same, so I think that's where the correlation lies.
Okay, so when people are used to doing the meditations, then it's a nice tie-in with the hypnosis, which I know a lot of my listeners are very familiar with doing meditation. So it would be something that would be easier for them to incorporate in.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Now, is it a personal thing how quickly you begin to see results?
It is. It does vary by individual. It is multifactorial, so you may have things going on in your life. You may not listen to the recordings every night. You may have more stress than usual. There could be a lot of things. It also varies by the individual's hypnotic aptitude, whether or not they're highly suggestible or medium or low, which is not to say anything about how smart they are. Or how good of a person they are, or anything like that. It's just different types of people have different reactions to it. Some people take to it more quickly than others. So there are a lot of factors that go into determining it. So again, that's why I suggest the 21 nights of listening to any one recording, just to make sure all of that is covered.
Wonderful. And now, are there any type of negative effects that people ever receive when they're listening or trying to do the hypnosis for themselves?
Not that I'm aware of. I've heard of some strange things. For example, people have written in and they said they've listened to my weight loss recording and their cat lost weight. I've heard that a few times. I mean, who knows? Maybe the cat understands the words I'm saying. They must understand some words at least. So that's yeah. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Most cats could probably use a little weight loss anyway. They kind of tend to be sedentary. Yeah.
I like that, though. So it's something that is very safe and it's very benign in that you're going to achieve the results, but there isn't really any chance of something unwanted happening, which is a nice safety for a lot of folks.
Absolutely. I look at hypnosis like vegetables. It's really hard to overdose on vegetables or hypnosis, and there's really no downside. There's only benefit.
Okay, I like that. A lot of people, listening going, okay, I can deal with that, because that just makes it very relatable for everyone.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
Oh, now, you know what? We've got a couple people that have questions. Would you want to answer a couple or answer a question or two?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. I am going to... Oh, goodness. Okay, it was here a second ago. My board just flashed. We are just having really strange problems here this evening. So let me just put this out for everyone who may not be used to the format. If you do have a question, please press *2 on your handset. And that is going to raise your hand here so that we will be able to call on you as the call progresses. And I'm looking to see if we have anyone that's listening over the webcast that may have written in, but at this point, we're all set there. Okay. Well, I think you just brought a whole host of technical troubles in with you during this call tonight, Dr. Steve. It's
Absolutely.
kind of a crazy, weird evening here with stuff that is kind of throwing me off a little bit because it's not typical for all of this to be happening the way that it is.
Well, I'm trying to keep you on your toes.
I think that you are, and, geez, I'm going to have to kind of really buck up here because it's just not stopping.
Yep.
Right.
Can't have you getting too relaxed.
Exactly. Geez, that would be too much to ask for.
Exactly.
Would you have, maybe like a quick 5 or so minute example that you could do with folks that are listening?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So something geared toward embracing the new year and the new you?
I love that, yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're about to do a hypnosis session, I just want to put this out there that if you're listening to this in a moving vehicle, or if you're riding a bike or walking or doing anything else except sitting or lying down, you really need to listen to this later, because it's not safe to listen to anything hypnotic while you're doing anything because it's so relaxing. It's not as if you can just do something and listen to it in the background. It will relax you. And so only listen to this next 5 minutes, if you're sitting or lying down with nothing to do. So my understanding is everyone who's listening is sitting or lying down with nothing else to do. And we're going to begin. Sue, are you ready?
I am, yes. Looking forward to that.
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll do a 5-minute session. Now, you may remember everything that happens during this session, and that's fine, because you may be an alpha, which, as you know, if you drive a car, you can be an alpha, and you may very well remember when you drive a car, when you go somewhere, you may remember the trip, or you may not. So some people will remember, some people won't, some people have a spotty memory of this, but however you experience it is the way that you experience hypnosis, so that's fine. And keep in mind, this is only going to be a 5-minute session. My normal sessions are 60 minutes, so we're going to keep this very short, just to give you a taste of it, sort of like an hors d'oeuvre. And let's go ahead and begin. I'd like you to start by closing your eyes. Just go ahead and close your eyes and relax and take a deep breath in through your nose, inhaling, filling your lungs slowly, and then hold it, open your mouth slightly, and when you're ready, exhale very slowly. And then another deep breath in through your nose, and hold it, and when you're ready, open your mouth slightly and exhale slowly, and continue relaxing, and continue breathing easily, effortlessly, and comfortably, realizing that in just a few moments you are going to be very, very relaxed. And in order to help you relax, I would like you to imagine yourself on a beautiful island. You are on a beach on your own private island. You feel the warm sand on the bottom of your feet as you walk very slowly down to the water's edge. And there's a gentle breeze blowing on your body. Between the breeze and the warmth of the sun, the temperature is just right. And as you walk, you continue relaxing from head to toe, relaxing the top of your head all the way down to your shoulders now as you walk down to the water's edge. When you reach the water's edge, you just walk along the water, relaxing your shoulders now. The relaxation moves down to your chest area, down your arms to the tips of each of your fingers. Relaxation moves down your torso, down your legs as you continue walking and listening to the ocean waves rolling in and out. Relaxation moves down your legs lower and lower as you see a few occasional white wispy clouds in the sky. And it reaches your feet, moves to the tip of each of your toes. You now find a safe, dry, comfortable place where you can sit at the end of this beautiful day, facing the water, because the sun is about to set. And as I count from 5 to 1, the sun will slowly set on the horizon. The lower I count, the lower the sun goes. And the lower the sun goes, the more you relax deeper, deeper, and more deeply relaxed. Sitting down now and watching the sun set. As I count 5, down goes the sun. 4, down, lower now. 3, relaxing, down, down. 2. At the count of the next number, the sun will have set completely and you will be completely relaxed. All right now, 1. The sun has set completely and you are completely relaxed. I'd like you now to imagine rising up above your body and moving into the future, into the new year. And as you set yourself down in the future, in the new year, notice how good you feel. It is about halfway through the new year. You have maintained your resolutions. You look back and see how easy it was to maintain them. You have started living with confidence and motivation and power and believing in yourself, how beautiful, wonderful, and amazing you are. Notice how much better your life is now in that future time than it was. You are so relaxed and you feel so good and excited about creating this future. Now you rise up again and move back into the present and settle back into your present self. And you bring with you all that power and that knowledge about how to create this future you, about how good you will feel when you have stuck to your New Year's resolutions, when you have embraced your power and your motivation and your confidence and the beauty within you. In just a few moments, you're going to open your eyes. And when you do, you'll be wide awake and completely out of hypnosis. And before you go to sleep tonight, you will take one action that signifies to you that you have changed. Perhaps you will decide on a New Year's resolution. Perhaps you will do something you've been putting off that's good for you and all those around you. You'll take one action tonight before you go to sleep that signifies that you believe in yourself. All right, now coming up very slowly to the count of 3, so that by the time I reach that final number, you will be wide awake and completely out of hypnosis. 1, coming up feeling very good, full of natural energy. 2, beginning to move now, beginning to stir, becoming very aware of where you are, very aware of your surroundings. At the count of the number, you will be wide awake. When I say the next number, your eyes will open. You will be full of natural energy. All right now, 3, eyes open, wide awake, and completely out of hypnosis. And before you do anything, such as driving or riding a bike or anything, take about a half an hour to fully come back and just relax for now.
That was really nice.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Yes, and I will encourage everyone who is listening over the webcast, if they would like to write in and let us know, how their experience with that was. That would be fabulous. And if we get a few of them, we'll read them in a little bit.
Okay, that sounds great.
And that was just so nice and so gentle. Is that, pretty typical of how the recordings that you do go? It's just a very calm, easy entering in?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And again, the recordings are an hour long, and we just did 5 minutes, but that's a good example of the pace and the way they go, yes.
Oh, and how wonderful you can feel for that hour if you're able to stay awake for all of them.
Or you can just drift off to sleep, and that's absolutely fine.
I'm kind of going towards, that was really nice. I think it's the calmest that I've felt in a little while, especially since all these techno troubles here this evening. So it was a very wonderful place to be. And I can see wanting to go there more and more frequently just to kind of shed off all of the rest of the garbage, because it makes it's taking the experience and making it very real on multiple levels for so many of our different senses when you're doing that and bringing people through with the hypnosis recordings.
Yes, I agree with that.
Which is wonderful. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not something that we're really trained to do, that we kind of experience our world, even though our senses are all bombarded, we're not always aware of all the different ones.
That is true. We tend to tune out a lot. That is absolutely true.
Which I think we would probably be a lot better off if we didn't.
That is true.
Now, because we are, talking about kind of the new year coming in and resolutions, do you have any suggestions for folks when they're trying to think of the resolutions and then to be able to use your recordings? Is there certain things or certain ways that people can phrase or look at their resolutions that may allow them to have more success?
Well, I think as long as it's something that they really want. I mean, sometimes people get caught up in doing what their parents want or what their loved one wants or what someone in their immediate vicinity wants. But it's got to be something that's part of their passion, something they want to do. So that's the primary thing when setting any kind of goal, whether it's a New Year's resolution or just a short-term or long-term goal in general. Just make sure it's something that you really want. And next thing is to be able to chunk it down, as we say. We get that from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, the idea of chunking down. So there have to be measurable steps along the way. For example, when a child goes through school, they go from 1st to 12th grade in the United States, and it's measured. They finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and so forth. So if you can do things on a graduated scale like that, where you can see your progress and mark it off as you go, that's always more beneficial, because that way you're making little goals happen all the time.
That makes a lot of sense. And kind of put the little tick marks next to, if it's weight loss, 5 pounds instead of just going for the 150. That you're watching it. I like that a lot.
Yep.
I'm sure people find that very, very helpful.
Yes, I found it helpful myself too, whether it's losing weight or increasing money or doing anything you want that's measurable. If you can just chart it and then write down your progress and tick it off, as you mentioned, then it's very powerful. It helps you realize when you're on track, when you're off track, and your overall progress.
Absolutely. Now, because we just had that wonderful experience, you made a bundle of, I believe it's 5 recordings available for the folks that are listening here tonight and on the replay. Could I get you to let folks know what those are so that they can see if they'd like to experience it for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I should point out these are platinum level recordings. These took me about 2 years to produce. I hired 2 sound engineers, 2 college graduate sound engineers. We use Pro Tools, which is the audio recording equipment they use in movies. I had a handmade Rode mic from Australia. And I had a recording studio built from the ground up, so we had everything done the right way. It cost me over $100,000 and took a long time, and we got these done correctly. So they're platinum level. They're an hour long each. They've got binaural tones in them, which are shown to be very effective when reprogramming yourself. They've got the binaural tones allow us to make use of brainwave entrainment. So they've also got a variety of musical backgrounds, and the beginning part that we did during the hypnosis session, where I had you walk along a beach, we have a variety of what we call inductions. So sometimes we'll be walking along a beach, sometimes we'll be flying over the pyramids of Egypt, sometimes we'll be walking in the woods. It's a variety of beginnings, so they're not all sounding the same. And then the programming part, where you're getting the positive suggestions, that's a full half hour on each. So 50% of these hour-long recordings is devoted to just pure programming, changing the way you're thinking about things. And the topics are abundance, This is something that I found very helpful. This has to do with not just abundance of wealth, but abundance of friends, abundance of fun, abundance of opportunities, really taking advantage of the things that are in your environment to live a truly abundant life. Confidence, I recommend starting with that one because that's the underpinning of everything. If you believe in yourself, you can get anything done. If you don't believe in yourself, then it can be difficult to even get out of bed in the morning. So you've got to have confidence. Then, of course, once you have confidence, you want motivation. You want to do something with all that confidence you have. So motivation helps you pick something that you want to work on and move toward it. And then, since we're coming into the new year, I have a recording on New Year's resolutions. So make some resolutions and actually stick to them this time and see them through. And then I think this helps all of these work, which is a new positive attitude. Some people kind of want to believe in themselves, but they don't really. The new positive attitude cuts through all that and gets you to really, finally, once and for all, have the positive attitude you need to make the changes you want to make in your life.
Those sound wonderful. And for folks, if you're listening to us on the webcast and you want to kind of take a look at all these recordings, and there's some really nice descriptions that kind of go really into detail on that. If you click on the special offer button, it's going to take you straight over to the webpage and you can take a look at them. And if you're listening over the phone lines and you want to take a look, if you go to yourinnerawakenings.com/SGJ for Stephen G. Jones. You can go look right at that page, and it's going to be posted on the replay link as when the call is over. So you'll have a chance to go over and take a look and have a couple of days to decide if you would like to take advantage of this, because you have priced these at something I really couldn't believe when I saw this come across. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these recordings are $79.95 each if people were to go buy them off your website. And for our listeners here, he's made this whole bundle of all 5 of these calls available for only $47.
Yes, I wanted to do that because I want to make change accessible to everyone. And we sell these every day at the full price at $79.95. But I wanted to make them something that, if you're thinking, well, maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't, it really makes it a no-brainer. It really makes it something that, you're just going to get all of these for, what is that, less than 1/10 of the normal price. So you're going to really be able to just make a small investment, but an investment in yourself that's going to pay dividends for a long time to come.
Absolutely. And what you're offering in those, between the confidence and the abundance, just for example, these are things that you're taking with you every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and these are
it's
things.
It's not just a right now.
Exactly. I mean, I listen to my motivation recordings, and I remember, every now and then I'll listen to it, but I still remember the messages from when I listened to a previous generation motivation recording I made in 2002. I mean, I'm still benefiting positively from those messages. They'll help me in those key clutch moments when I do need that extra push. I do need that extra motivation, and it comes from within. So I've also saved myself a lot of time and trouble because I don't have to have external motivation. I don't have to have someone prodding me and coaching me and pushing me. It all comes from within now. So this is something that you get. It stays with you, and it stays with you for a long time and possibly even a lifetime.
And that is fantastic. I mean, and really, when we're looking at these, I think it's pretty safe to assume that everybody, to some degree, could use, greater confidence. That's one that I hear from so many people. And to be able to have recordings like this that are able to help us in such a short time, being able to really build up what we already have, because it's not like this is creating something new. It's just opening the doors for us to experience it in a different way.
Right, exactly. I like to say, I like to quote the musical group America that was talking about the Wizard of Oz when they said, Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And really, hypnosis is not giving you anything you don't have. It's just a gentle reminder of the power and the beauty and the amazing potential that you already do have.
I love that. So it's really already here. It's just opening that door that so many of us like to slam shut. I'm sure it's mostly the problem with us.
Yes.
And I love what you said about the abundance, that it's not just a monetary thing, but it's abundance in so many different areas of our lives.
We can be abundant in friends, we can be abundant in fun, we can be abundant in knowledge. And interestingly enough, when we start getting these different areas of abundance, usually the money follows. Usually we don't have to try too hard. If we have an abundance of connections and we're enjoying our lives, usually people want to hire us and work with us and associate with us.
Now that's a really nice side effect, I would say. Wonderful. All right. Well, I'm looking to see if we have any questions coming in. And the board is still doing this weird blinking in and out type of thing. So I'm not 100% sure if anybody has written in. If you have and I'm not seeing it, please submit something in again, because it looks like things are just disappearing. Is really the best way to put it, and I'm not quite sure why or what that is all about here. But I see that we're starting to kind of wind on down in time. Oh my gosh, your whole reference to the Oz movie is really sinking in here. In the play version, there was something about a wind on down in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to let other listeners know that we haven't covered here tonight?
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground. The main takeaways should be that hypnosis is safe, it's effective, it's something that anyone can benefit from, and it's something that offers just a new life, a new group of possibilities. The stuff you've been wanting and striving for and trying for and thinking about, that's all possible, and hypnosis unlocks that door.
In a wonderful, and based on what we experienced with you, in a wonderfully gentle manner in which that happens, which I know so many of us appreciate.
Yes, I think that change should be that way. Certainly, if you're listening to something at night, when I'm listening to something at night, I want it to be gentle and relaxing. So I found that's the best way to soothe people and to really get to their subconscious minds so that the messages can be put in there, the messages for positive change.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Steve, thank you so much for coming on and bearing with all of this interesting technological trouble that has been going on this evening. It's made this kind of a interesting call on my part, but I think that what we've gotten and what you've given to all of our listeners is how beneficial, the hypnosis it can be for everybody. And if they take advantage of that amazing special offer that you put together, those 5 recordings can be a really solid foundation for people to draw from, not just the new year, but for years to come, that's going to have some really wonderful side benefits that they may not be expecting once they've unleashed all of this wonderfulness that's there inside of them.
Very well put. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, again, thank you so much, and thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. The replay is going to be going up in just a little bit, so make sure to come back and listen again, and you can take advantage of that really wonderful trip to the island that we took as you decide if you'd like to make the hypnosis recordings that Dr. Steve has made available a part of your life coming up. So everyone, have a great night. And thank you for being here. And again, thank you, Dr. Steve, for joining us.
Thank you, Sue. My pleasure.
All right. Take care now, everybody. Bye-bye.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.